It's truly an honor to be here today. My name is Aryan Aggarwal. I'm a young dreamer who once sat in a classroom with big hopes and a small voice. I studied in St. Stephen's School, and their motto is Semper Summer, which basically means always aim high. My parents have always encouraged me to reach for the stars, hold myself accountable for to higher standards. So as a kid, I learned to aim higher. I used to write essays about what I would become. I used to imagine myself standing on stage, making a difference. But in reality, I was an introverted kid. I spoke softly, thought deeply, but I often felt like the odd one out. I carried this feeling that my voice really didn't matter. And over time, that silence kept turning into self-doubt. And that's the moment something shifted. I decided that I need to work on myself. So I got myself into sports. I started playing lawn tennis. And I would go there every day, practice, putting myself out there. It was just me, my focus, and I enjoyed a lot. And I fell in love with lawn tennis. And I decided that I want to pursue it professionally. Lawn tennis taught me a great deal of things. Discipline, patience, how to deal with failure, and I gained a lot of confidence, resilience, and physical fitness also. I learned how effort can turn into result. But over time, I also learned that result always may not match the effort. You know what? Because I gave everything to tennis. My good 7 years of life I gave it to tennis, but I could not achieve at the level I intended to. And there was a time in my life where I had to accept that maybe tennis was not my path. It was very painful, but it also taught me an important lesson that not all losses are failure. Sometimes it's just life redirecting you. It's just life redirecting you, and my experiences, my learning did not go waste, but they became a stepping stone for my future. Now, around the same time, my parents' journey also changed a lot. I looked at life. My mother was a banker. My father worked in insurance. And one fine day, they decided to step out of their comfort zone and start a business together on their own. Now, I believe that was their best decision. Because the same amount of time and effort they were putting in jobs, with the same time and effort, they started earning more. Not just in terms of money, but also time, freedom, confidence. So they would take me to business meetings, conferences, and I would sit there as a child in the audience. I did not realize it then, but I was learning the entrepreneurial language. Words like leverage, value, mindset, growth. Now looking back, I can see how all those moments planted the seed for the person I am today. As I grew older and entered college, I noticed something far deeper than the usual chaos of student life. My friends, my peers, bright, talented individuals, I felt that they were unsure about the path they want to take. And they could not find the intersection between what they truly love and what to truly sustain them. Many of them did not know their strengths. Their parents did not know how to help them, and it was shocking to see that many of the faculty members did not know how to bridge the gap between the academic learning and real world careers. So I could feel those things, the confusion, the frustration, and the indecision when I was conversing with them. So I decided I need to find out whether it was just what I was seeing or was it something bigger? So me and my friends, we did a student survey across various colleges with around 8,000 students. And what we discovered was eye-opening. We found that it was not just the few students, but most of us that lacked clarity in their path. And that lack of clarity, it was not random, but it was systematic. And that realization stuck with me. The realization that most of us are confused. I'm talking about the student life. And it was not just the data from the survey. it was a mirror reflecting the confusion of an entire generation. So once you see something like that, it's difficult to unsee it. So what happened? I approached my parents. I told my parents that Mummy, Papa, I want to start career exploration program in schools and institutions. And I felt blessed about it that they, looking at my conviction, they invested in my vision, not just financially but emotionally. I was just responding to the genuine need I witnessed and the problem that was too real to ignore. So I wanted to build something that gave clarity to the students and comfort to their parents, a bridge between aspiration and assurance. So that's how TalentGro Global was born, not just as a company, but as a commitment that will help students to see their path clearly and help parents to look at their children with new eyes. That was the point my entrepreneurial journey began. And from that point, every day became a classroom. I learned that a business is built through small, unseen, quiet moments, tiny decisions that you take every day. Your choices, whether they are positive, negative, or neutral, slowly they compound over time and form into your products, your service, price, brand, people, culture. And very early in my startup journey, I realized that before I build a business, I need to build a person that can build a business. So I started reading good books. I started going to networking events, conferences. I started attending sales meetings. I did all of those things that make me highly uncomfortable. As an introvert, all these things felt like a small mountain to climb. But I had to do it because they were not optional. They were mandatory. Because when you are building something, you can't afford to have a casual and careless approach. You just cannot. Because imagine this. You are in the driver's seat right now. And you are not just responsible for your bread and butter, but also the lives of people who trust you, who are with you, your employees, your customers, your vendors. So this was my first lesson. Now people often think entrepreneurship is about owning a company, raising funds. Entrepreneurship is not about ownership of business. It's about ownership of your actions, taking full responsibility. Whether things are going right, and especially when they are not. For example, let's imagine the office assistant is not around and the floor needs cleaning. I would pick up the broom myself and clean it myself. The day I will say, that's not my job, is the day I stop growing. And this mindset is not just limited to the founders itself. Whether you are an employee, a student, or any person pursuing something meaningful. Entrepreneurship will start the day you take full ownership of your work. Is it understood? So, beyond this, I believe entrepreneurship can be the best self-improvement journey you can take. Why? It will reveal your gaps, your limits, your fears, and challenge you to overcome them. My first sales call, when I was 18 years old, I remember my heart was racing. I felt terrified. And same for the first startup pitch I gave. I was terrified. And because we were new, we were rejected a lot. Same as every other founder. Rejection again and again and again. But we kept going. One student at a time, one institution at a time, one school at a time. And today, TalentGro Global works with 45 plus institutions across various states. We have received awards for our Campus Connect and our HR Excellence, and we received seed grant from Punjab government. Now it reminded me how ownership, consistency, and resilience can compound into impact. When we received our first seed grant from Punjab government, it wasn't just a financial validation. It was an emotional validation. A belief that this is a beginning of a much bigger story. My dear friends, TalentGro Global is an opportunity to empower the individuals to explore themselves, what they really are and what they could become. Education, if I talk about education is not about broad learning. Education at its best is experimentation. You learn through trial, through failure, and curiosity. Now, we as human beings, what are we as human beings without curiosity? Nothing. Our career exploration program, our competence mapping, helps students to identify their core strengths, to do energy audits about what excites them, and identify skill gaps. Once that self-awareness is built, we help them develop 21st century capabilities through research-based learning. Now, we started with a simple idea, career exploration program. And it was the heart of TalentGro Global. And the institutions liked it so much, they approached us and asked us that how we can help them do more. And that's when TalentGro Global expanded its wings. From not only helping students individually to empowering entire institutions. So we would work with teachers to help them build frameworks, tools, mindset that, so even if you're not physically present, the ecosystem continues to nurture the students. Because I believe true impact is not when you are dependent on us. It's when we empower you to carry that torch forward. This is my personal belief, and I've said it many times in multiple forums, and I would say it again. When we help a student, we are strengthening his family. And when we are strengthening his family, we are strengthening the community, and through that, the whole nation. People say India is a cheap labor country. I say India is not a cheap labor country, we are a talent hub. I'll share with you, there are nights when the workload is a lot, and the challenges of system, scale, and skepticism weigh a lot on us. But when a student calls us and thanks us for helping him, all the weight is lifted. My dear friends, I would conclude here and जाने से पहले ये कहूँगा that TalentGro Global is my promise to you and your future generations.